Now I would like to invite Ms. Victoria Ballesteros Gonzalez, co-director of the Spanish section Racist Girls in Science for SDGs International Platform and Community Engagement and Legislative Affairs Specialist at Elgin Community College. Victoria, you have the floor.
Thank you. Excellencies, colleagues, ladies and gentlemen, it is my honor to address this panel. My name is Victoria Ballesteros Gonzalez. I am originally from the Canary Island, from Adeje, in Spain, and I now live and work in Illinois. Two places, very different, yet connected by shared questions of sustainability, opportunity, and social unity. I first addressed the United Nations at the age of 16, carrying hope, aspiration, and possibility. In the years since, I have moved from being a participant to become a practitioner. I return as a woman who has learned, sometimes painfully, that being present in decision-making spaces like this one does not guarantee being counted in decision-making outcomes. As a Spanish-speaking woman, I learned early that language is never neutral. Even when translation exists, power often does not travel with it. Accent becomes assumption. Fluency becomes a proxy for authority. And expertise, particularly when expressed in a second language, is often questioned rather than recognized. Social science gives us a vocabulary for this: linguistic inequality, institutional bias. But what it looks like in practice is far quieter. It looks like women who hesitate to speak in meetings. It looks like talent that is present but not fully heard. It looks like participation without power. This distinction between presence and power is what led me to bring forward, under the guidance of Her Royal Highness Dr. Nisrin Hashmine, the Spanish section of the Girls in Science for SDG International Platform, creating a space where Spanish-speaking girls could see themselves not only represented, but centered. It also guided the work behind the first high-level panel in Spanish, organized by the Royal Academy of Science International Trust, a forum where we intentionally elevated Spanish-speaking women scientists and experts as agents of sustainable development. I work in environments where policies encounter administrative systems, funding constraints, and ultimately human lives. I have witnessed and been explicitly warned about how systems treat maternity, not as a predictable feature of human life, but as a disruption to be managed and to often be penalized for. Long before becoming mothers, or even thinking really about it, many women are advised, sometimes subtly, sometimes directly, about the professional risk of caregiving. We are cautioned about timing, about visibility, about momentum. We are encouraged to plan our lives around institutional convenience rather than human reality. The expectation of future caregiving shapes decisions long before caregiving occurs, affecting specialization choices, leadership aspirations, and long-term retention in STEM and policy fields. Women do not leave STEM or innovation pathways because they lack talent or interest. They leave because systems reward uninterrupted participation in lives that are, in reality, interrupted by care and structural inequality. They are not living systems. They are being pushed out by design, by policies that fail to account for how women actually live. When we discuss the gender pay gap, especially in science and technology, we often locate the problem at the point of leadership representation or wage transparency, and those are important areas, but the gaps begins before. It begins when women are more likely to pause or slow career progressions due to caregiving expectations. It begins with unpaid care labor systems that sustain households, societies, and economies, but is invisible in professional evaluation systems and is misread as a lack of ambition rather than a rational response to structural conditions. By the time the gender pay gap becomes visible in data, the system has already done its sorting. True sustainability requires us to intervene earlier, before disparity hardens into destiny. I have seen policies redesigned to account for the living realities of women, for caregiving, unpaid labor, not as exemptions or accommodations, but as expected futures of human lives, as expected futures of women's life. When social science is at the core of decision-making, sustainability stops being an aspiration and becomes an aspirational reality. So allow me respectfully to ask one question. If women and girls are central to the future of science, innovation, and governance, why do our institutions continue to benefit from our invisible labor while discontinuing our visible expertise, particularly when it's represented in different languages, life courses, or cultural forms. Here are some clear asks. Center social science expertise at the point of policy design, not as an advisory appendix, but as the decision-making authority. Mandate life course metrics across reporting, metrics that recognize caregiving, invisible labor, linguistic mediation, among other metrics. Require gender-responsive impact assessment not only at the launch of initiatives, but throughout their implementation, so inequality is corrected in real time and is not explained after the fact. Sustainability is not secured by participation alone. It's secure when participation is designed to endure. These shifts are not aspirational, they are overdue. Sustainability is about ensuring that the futures we build are one people, especially women and girls like me, like us, can afford to live in. Thank you.